So Arsenal get back to winning ways, a 2-1 win against Cardiff City, a very strange and unique circumstance in relation to what has happened to Cardiff over the last 10 days. But Arsenal, despite the difficult circumstances, the subdued atmosphere and just an overall bizarre game, Arsenal do get 3 points and keep their Champions League hopes alive with a 2-1 win at the Emirates in the Premier League. Welcome back to Analysing Arsenal, and again one of the Analysing Arsenals, and we've done this before this season where we're going to be looking at two games in one video essentially. Obviously I didn't do a match view on Friday for Arsenal's defeat to Manchester United. I said I wasn't going to anyway because I was going on a night out. I was then unfortunately unwell, so I didn't go on my night out, and I didn't manage to record a video because I was too sick to do so. So we're back with Analysing Arsenal, and we are back with another match review. We'll start by talking about events at the Emirates against Cardiff City tonight, and then I will conclude the video by talking about what happened and my thoughts and feelings in regards to Manchester United's 3-1 win against Arsenal, because obviously it does tie in quite loosely, because going out of the FA Cup means that Unai Emery's quest to get a trophy in his first season all really rests on the Europa League. There's a chance, there's still a good chance that we can win the Europa League. I think, us and Chelsea are kind of level really, and as we saw in our, previous Premier League game, really bad burp just then, what happens is that on Arsenal's day we can match Chelsea and even beat Chelsea quite comfortably, but they are the strongest side. There are a couple of other decent sides in the Europa League, so really winning the Europa League is Unai Emery's only way of getting a trophy, but also it's one way into the Champions League if you can't get it through getting into the top four. And we've got a fierce battle between Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and even Spurs really to a certain point. So really those are the two objectives really, being kicked out of the Carabao Cup, kicked out of the FA Cup. It is all about top four now, and obviously we now need to kind of, between now and the end of the season, win as many games as we can. We can't really afford to drop many more points. And, Cardiff are a good side. Obviously, with the circumstances in relation to Salah's disappearance, it was going to be a very kind of subdued atmosphere. The fact that a tragedy has taken place, how would Cardiff be able to kind of get into the swing of playing a professional game? With everything that's going on, it's hard for players to find that mindset and find that drive to get in and kind of get a positive result. And it could have either gone one or two ways. Either we would have ripped Cardiff to shreds, or it would have been a very tight, close and cagey affair, and it was the latter that was seen. It took us 66 minutes to break Cardiff City down. It came from a penalty, so Kolasinac was brought down in the box. It was a penalty, and Aubameyang steps up and slots the ball into the back of the net on 66 minutes. And then Lacazette follows up with the second goal on 83 minutes. An injury, yet another injury, succumbs in the final stage of the game, in stoppage time. Cardiff pull a goal back. And if you look at the stats, they had 19 shots but only 2 on target. We had 70% of possession, 15 shots 4 on target. So Cardiff had plenty of opportunities, plenty of chances, but they weren't clear-cut chances, nor did they really test Leno, apart from Lang scoring in the 93rd minute. Once we got that penalty, we were able to relax, and we were able just to kind of keep calm, composed. We got that second goal for Lacazette, all but secured the 3 points. A little bit of a scare with Cardiff's late goal in the 93rd minute, but we managed to hold on for 3 points. And like I said, it was a unique game, it was a unique circumstance, it was a very subdued and strange atmosphere, for a very good reason. There's a reason why that was, but it was important that, despite the tragedies, despite what was going on off the field, we needed to get the 3 points, we need to keep our top 4 dreams alive. So, on that side of it, that was great. And it's a real pleasure to see Arsenal get back to winning ways and get 3 points, 3 absolutely vital points, particularly with Manchester United at the minute 2-0 down to Burnley, so they've dropped points. Obviously we can hope that Chelsea drop some points and also Spurs drop points. Both of those sides are in action tomorrow, as we've got a midweek round of Premier League games. But Arsenal right now are in a, it is typical Arsenal. We're in a very kind of same old strange kind of atmosphere. We can have one amazing game against Chelsea, we rip Chelsea to shreds, we then play Manchester United and we get battered. And actually, when you look at that FA Cup game, I don't really feel, we should have lost that game and lost in the way that we did. You know, I'm not using it as an excuse, but we have been very, very unfortunate with injuries at the moment. You know, once Socrates went off injured and he's out for a couple of weeks, you lose, you know, that defensive kind of strength. He is a leader, he's the communicator, and in fact, him not being in the side just shows how vulnerable our defence is. You know, Koscielny was brilliant against Chelsea, but because he had Socrates next to him, you know, helping him out when he needed and kind of communicating and working, and there was a real partnership. You know, both defenders have to communicate with each other, they need to work well together. It's a partnership. The best defending Premier League teams and just, you know, football teams in general are teams that have two centre-backs that communicate, that can lead, that can motivate, that, you know where the other defender is. They work together, they're a good partnership, they're a good team, and they don't even need to work at that. It's natural, it's a natural leadership that they have. And I don't think that we have that. You know, when Socrates, you know, was taken off, we lost that. You know, and, you know, injuries didn't help us on Friday against Manchester United, and the game was almost lost in 2 minutes, really. Manchester United, its plan was to, you know, allow us to dominate the ball. We had, you know, the majority of possession, but we were very negative in our attacking play. It was very kind of left side, right side. We were trying to score the perfect goal, very much as what I have seen in the Arsene Wenger years. I haven't seen that much under Unai Emery, but I saw it on Friday. We were absolutely, you know, insistent and adamant of trying to get the perfect goal. That, you know, Manchester United, when they get the ball, they, you know, counter. And, you know, 2 counter-attacks, 2 goals. Obviously, Sanchez scoring on his return. A lovely goal by Lingard. We did get a goal back for Aubameyang, but we never really kicked on in that second half. And then we just let the game peter out. And Manchester United, you know, they've got sheer pace in Rashford and Martial. They brought both Martial and Rashford on and just cut us apart. Got the 3rd goal. Game over. We're out the cup. Mesut Ozil started tonight for the first time in quite a while. And he came on in the FA Cup encounter against Manchester United on Friday. Again, for these type of games, you know, games against Cardiff City, Ozil, yeah, absolutely is the man that you need, because, you know, he will create, he will open up gaps, he will get space, he will give the strikers, he'll open up little pockets, he'll get the strikers into, you know, decent goal scoring positions. You know, that is his game. He's not going to track back. He's not going to work. I mean, against Chelsea, he would have made the entire squad fall down because he's not going to track back. He's not going to press. You know, he lets the press inside of the game, you know, go down. So, you know, I don't think he's in Unai Emery's plans. I don't see him here next season. And for a player that's on that kind of salary, he needs to be the first, you know, name of the team sheet week in, week out. And I think, you know, Ozil's time at Arsenal is done, and I've maintained that for many, many weeks. What's frustrating is that we're about to approach deadline day, and, you know, we're potentially about to sign Perisic, Denis Suarez, but the likelihood is of us actually signing those players, we're not going to sign those players. You know, it's frustrating because, you know, Unai Emery wants to get Arsenal to a title-winning side. You know, he's not here to get into the Champions League, he's here to win a Premier League title, to get Arsenal back to the very height of English and modern-day football. You can't do that if you don't spend money. You know, when we have a great defence, we have an awful attack. When we've got a great attack, we've got an awful defence. The defence needs work. You know, we need a lot of work, at least 3 or 4 transfer windows to really get, you know, our defence. We need a better goalkeeper, in my opinion. We need at least 3. I mean, even maybe an entire back 4. You know, there are times where the back 4 look, you know, complete and good enough. There are other times when that back 4 do not look good enough. You know, they're nowhere near good enough to win a league, not by, you know, any stretch of the imagination. You know, Lucas Torreira is going to be a future star, but I think he needs a bit more protection and needs a bit more experience next to him. He will improve as his Arsenal career goes on. And going forward, we've got, you know, a great striker in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. You scored yet again tonight. Lacazette, the partnership between Lacazette and Aubameyang is fine. You know, I can't understand why Ramsey's going. So, we've got a lot of issues that need to be worked out. Obviously, as I keep saying, this is Unai Emery's first season. us as Arsenal fans need to remain patient, and what will be will be. He's had a great first season, Unai Emery. You know, make no mistake about it. You know, Arsenal, from where we were this time last year to where we are now, there is a big improvement that has been made, but we are still learning. You know, the players are still being trained and taught under Unai Emery. They've not qualified, in my opinion. So, you know, between now and the end of the season, almost like a mid-year kind of season review here, you know, either get into the top 4 or win the Europa League, or at least give it a good go, you know, and that is the main aim. If he can get Arsenal back into the Champions League again, that is an absolutely wonderful season. We got the job done today against Cardiff in a very emotional and a highly kind of charged kind of game. Everyone here at DJ Bagpuss, you know, sends their condolences, thoughts and feelings to the family of Salah. Absolutely, you know, terrible. You know, we've seen so many horrific tragedies this season. You know, it's just one of those awful tragedies, and you know, I do send, you know, my condolences out to Salah's family and everyone at Cardiff City. We get the job done. We move on to Sunday when we play the champions, Manchester City. That can be an absolutely fiery game at the Etihad Stadium, so I'll rejoin you for that game. But until then, if you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and check out my great content as well. This is DJ Bagpuss signing out. Take care, and I shall see you all later. Take care. Bye bye.